Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I know that I emailed all of you on Sunday about getting very close to earning the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip to Mexico, and I just wanted to let everyone know that I did earn the trip thanks to all of you. Thank you to everyone who put in an order during my special, and thank you to everyone who put in an order since October. That's when I started earning this trip to Mexico. So thank you to everyone who ordered recently, and thank you to everyone who ordered in the past, because all of those orders came together. And also, I had some help from my Bee Stampers team too, because some of what they do also helps me earn the trip. So thank you to my Bee Stampers, and thank you to my customers, and also my followers, and my people who watch my videos and stuff. Everything helps me to do this as a business and to earn the incentive trips every year. And this one really has a special place in my heart, because it will be my husband. My husband and I have been married. It will be 29 years this year, but in the year that we go to Mexico, which is next year, it will be our 30th anniversary. And we've had some kind of interesting milestone anniversaries. I think it was our 20th anniversary when we were in the middle of moving here to the Boston area, where we actually cleaned out the garage on our actual 20th anniversary. So those are the kinds of things I think that you do as a married couple. Like, it's not all glamour, right? It's there's some real like work that goes into it. And sometimes during those milestones, it's not a great year, and you end up doing stuff like, literally, we were cleaning out our garage on our 20th anniversary. It was not the best way to spend the day, but like, it was what had to be done. We had a very short timetable to get our house on the market and ready to move, and it was a crazy time. So that's what we did. And so it would be really nice to go back to it's not exactly Cancun. That's where we went for a honeymoon, but it's in that area, that part of Mexico on the Caribbean side, that the Stampin' Up! Trip is going to, and it is truly. Stampin' Up! Does a truly wonderful job when they take us on these trips. They really take good care of us, and they pick really nice spots, really nice hotels. So I'm really looking forward to spending that time with my husband on our 30th anniversary. So thank you to all of you who helped me get there. Um, so I will talk to you all at the end, because as you know, I do get distracted, and I do want to show you the card for today. So let me jump right in. Today's Casing Tuesday, and that's the day when we take a card out of the catalog and give it a makeover. And this one is out of the Jan to April mini catalog, which is ending very soon. Some of the products are carrying over from that catalog, but actually I think this, well, I don't know if this bundle is or not. I did not get this bundle, but this is right out of the catalog on page 18. And this is what we're going to be using to base our card on today. So we also create a little sketch for you. And this will just help you with the measurements. Now you can change them around a little bit. I did myself, but this is just kind of an idea of how to get your card layers cut. You can cut these card layers and work with them, and then you can adapt them as necessary. So let me jump in and show you what my card is for today. Okay, I've already jumped over. Okay, so here is my card, and this bundle, oh, I'm going to take this out. I haven't glued that in yet. This bundle was new in the annual catalog last year around this time, and it's called the Sweet Songbirds bundle. It's right here. These two, the Sweet Songbird stamp set and the Songbird punch. So right now you can get these two as a bundle and save 10%. In the new annual catalog that's coming out in May, these will no longer be bundled together. You can still get them in May, but they will be their own product and you won't be able to save the 10%. So if you like this bundle and haven't gotten it yet, April would be a good time to get it before they are going at full price rather than the bundle pricing. So anyway, I decided to make this card, and one of the things I love two-step stamping. So I get to do a lot of stamping on this card today, and it's just so much fun to build scenes with this bundle. So I'm going to show you how I figured out how to put everything on this card, and it's just it's so cute. This little guy, he's just adorable. All right, so I already talked about this bundle. I'm debating on this inside. I stamped this last night in a rush, and I did use the happy birthday from Something Fancy. So that could be a potential inside of the card. So I just wanted to mention that I used that stamp set. All right, let's stamp this card. I'll put it up top here in this corner so we can kind of reference it. I'm going to start off with a piece of basic white, just the regular thickness, not the thick one. The regular thickness one has a very smooth surface. It's great for stamping on. And it's good for this card. I'm going to just grab a little scrap sheet. I have these quarter sheets of computer paper sitting aside to help me when I'm designing. So I'm just going to put this on the side here because I'm starting off with this branch right here. I'm going to use Crumb Cake ink pad. Oh, you know what thing I'm going to do first though? This will help us with the placement. So let's do this part first. I've got a scrap piece of paper here, and let's just shove my crumb cake to the side, and we're gonna pop in with Orchid Oasis. And this is there are two birds. The bigger one is the one that matches the punch, and I'm actually going to punch this one out. So I do want the bigger bird. So let me ink this up in Orchid Oasis. You always want to look at the way your punch is oriented. And then I'm going to orient this. I'm going to match it up with the back of the punch when I do that. So I'm trying to match how that looks. And I probably could have cut myself a little bit smaller of a piece because now some of these pieces are going to come out. Actually, you know what's really good to do before I go ahead and punch this? I'm going to grab... It's easier to stamp when you don't have a little floaty piece, punched piece to stamp things out of. So there's two of these kind of swoosh pieces. You want to grab the bigger of the two. This is actually the body, the chest, the breast of the bird. And I'm going to stamp that in Calypso Coral. Just going to hover and try and just get it right into that piece. And then this little one, this kind of looks like a little heart. You could probably use it as a heart, but it's actually the beak. So then I'll just hover this over that beak area and just stamp the beak in there. It's easier to do it while it's like this. Oh, and one more thing, let's do the eyes. I'm just using Tuxedo Black for the eyes, and we'll just kind of come in and pop those little eyes right there. You can't see them too well because the Orchid Oasis is really dark, but actually I think the Orchid Oasis will fade a little bit. Also, it's very dark in my room this morning. The sunshine left. Okay, so now we're going to punch this out because it's easier to stamp when it's on the cardstock. So we'll slide this in, and because I stamped this in the same orientation as the punch, it fits in quite nicely. Okay. All right. So, you know, you could also stamp and punch out these pieces if you wanted to. I kind of like to have it all on the bird like that. We can also could do the wing right now too and just set it aside. So I'm going to look at how this is oriented as well. And we'll take away the Orchid Oasis and grab back put away Clips of Coral and grab the Orchid Oasis. And I want to orient this the same way as my punch is oriented. So it's kind of on its side like this. I'm going to stamp an extra wing for the inside. I'm hoping I give that enough room. Nope, I'm going to end up clipping that. So I needed a slightly skinnier piece. Let's see. Okay, there's the little wing. We'll do one more wing up here. Yeah, if I had done it near the bottom, after a while you kind of get used to, you get better at figuring out how wide of a piece you need to cut and where you need to stamp it on there. Sometimes it takes me a little bit, if I'm doing multiples of the same card, after a while I figure out the best possible way to do that. Okay, so now we've got our little bird. We'll just reserve those wings on the side for a moment. And now I'm going to show you how I stamp those branches. So I've got my basic white piece and the scrap piece of paper, and we'll bring back in the crumb cake. So what I like to do is I want to put my bird kind of where I would like to situate the bird. I want to make sure I have enough room for the bird. And then I'm going to ink up my crumb cake branch here. And I'm just going to kind of, the bird needs to kind of just sit there. So I'm going to move the bird out of the way. And I want the branch to like come right off of the paper. So now it kind of would be good to do the first set of leaves, just so when you're putting in this second branch here, you have a good idea of where everything is being placed. So let's just grab this leaf. This is Granny Apple Green, and I'm just going to orient this so these are right at the ends of that branch. Okay, now put Granny Apple Green aside and bring back Crumb Cake. And then I want this one just a little bit in, and I want there to be enough room for those leaves. I'm overlapping just the tiniest bit of corner of those two branches. There's just a wee bit of overlap, just so it looks like it's kind of connected. So now I've got like a much fuller branch instead of just, you know, just one branch. One branch is fine too, but now it's filling up the scene a little bit more. It looks a little better, a little fuller, right? And then I'll come in here, just orient that. All right, so now I've got what looks like more of a tree coming in. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to create the effect of a sky. So sometimes I like to, if I'm using blends, I'll use a Stampin' Blends, but if I'm using stamping, I like to use a sponge dauber. Pool Party is a pretty light ink to begin with, and my ink pad's a little on the dry side. If yours is on the wetter side, make sure you daub off quite a bit. And I'm just going to swirl around on the branch. You can go right over the ink and just swirl around where the branch is, because what this is going to do, it's going to highlight just the branch. I'm not going to go outside of where there isn't an image. This just adds like a little bit of depth. So I've already done that top branch. It's very light, very dark here today, so I don't know if you can really see how nice this is. In my daylight in my studio, I'm just going to see if I can add a bit more light. I don't know if that popped on some more light for us. Okay, so you can maybe just see that there's a bit of a shading, a shadow around there. So you can do that also for the bird, even though I'm going to pop this guy up a little bit. So you could include the bird in that shading. So you just kind of have to see, okay, the bird's kind of up here and around here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to kind of come up here and go around. This is where the bird's going to sit. I don't have to do the middle because the bird's going to take that up. And now I've kind of created a little bit of a place for my bird to sit. Okay, one more thing we're going to do with the pool party. We've got these little notes, musical notes, and the little bird's singing a song. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We're going to pop that right about here. Okay. So now I think we can go ahead and glue this down. If you want to, you could also pop this guy up on dimensionals. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the wing up on dimensionals, but you could do both. I mail a lot of my cards, so I try and keep mine on the flatter side, just so it's easier for mailing. But dimensionals, they squish down in flight and then pop in flight, in transit, I should say, and they pop back up when they're in person. So okay, we're gonna grab a mini dimensional and one of the wings I punched out, pop it on there, and then it's kind of cool just to pop that wing on there with a dimensional, because now it's got like a little bit of dimension. Okay, we are doing well. I love stamping because surprisingly it's, you know, it looks like it's very complicated, but it's actually quite easy. And if you're new to stamping, I would just start off by practicing on computer paper, because there is a little bit of learning curve at first, how to hold the stamp and everything. I have lost my teeny tiny little piece of cardstock that was here. It's gone. It's gone, it's gone, it's gone. All right, I'm gonna grab it. I don't know where, oh, there it went. Okay, if I lift up enough things, I'll find it. Okay, so this is just a little piece of basic white, already cut down to about 3 inches by 1/2 inch. I'll grab my Banner's Pick-a-Punch and just slide it in one of the middle slots and give it a little punch. And then I'm going to come back with Orchid Oasis, and where's my stamp? This stamp comes with it. It says, "It's your special day." And so we're just going to ink that up. I'm going to stamp it closer to that banner end. Maybe I'll give it a little bit of room for, we're going to add some baker's twine. And I'm going to trim this off. So I cut it a little longer than I needed it. So I'll just grab this. I'll put the glue, I'll put my thumb on this end because I'm going to cut that end off. And I'll just put the glue more on this side here. And then I'll just kind of orient this where I want it. I'm going to take a look, make sure it's straight, it's parallel with this bottom. I'll turn this over and grab my paper snips and just snip that off along the line. All right, we're almost done this front piece. Let's grab our cardstock, our card base. So this piece is a piece of cardstock, an 8.5 by 11, and I cut it in half lengthwise. So this piece measures 11 inches by 4.25. Then I scored it in half at the 5.5 inch mark and just folded it like that. So now I'll just add my layer onto here. And this is just centered right on here. And then I tied a little tiny baker's twine bow earlier. This twine is from this pack. It's the 2022-2024 in color baker's twine pack. I love this pack. It will last you a long time. And this twine is carrying over into the new catalog, and I love it's got all the different colors. So there's a Orchid Oasis twine. So that's what I use because I'm using Orchid Oasis. And then I'll just put a tiny bit of glue right where I want the knot of my bow to land. And then I'll just pop that down. I'm just going to hold it for a few seconds. Baker's twine does adhere very well with our Tombow glue. And I just wanted to, tomorrow we're having a free shipping day for orders over $75. And there are going to be some price increases in the catalog. One of the things that's going up is this glue. And I'm not sure, I should check right now. I'm just going to check in the background real quick. It was on low inventory. I want to see if it's still available as of today. Like it will be coming back, but just sometimes, okay. Let's see, Oh, it's no longer on low inventory. That's great. Okay, that's great news because tomorrow, if you're gonna order on that sale, I would suggest if you use this glue as much as I do, pick up a few bottles. I've already been stocking up on it. It's going up $1.50. But it was truly the cheapest place you could find this glue. I don't think I could find a cheaper place before. It used to be $4 in the US. Now it's going up to $5.50. Pick yourself up some of these bottles of glue before the price increase. This is just great stuff, especially for 3D items, but I use it in all my card making as well. So just keep that in mind. Envelopes are going up. Cardstock is going up in price. So, you know, if there's colors you use, go ahead and pick those up now before the price increase. And also go check out the Last Chance area. There's some really great prices on paper and embellishments that are no longer going to be around. You can pick up some fabulous deals. The quality is still all there. It's just that we have new product coming in. So I'm just going to add some of my favorite jewels. These are iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. These are, I think, my favorite embellishment. They make the cards sparkle and they pick up the colors in the card. I think they reflect them somehow. And they just add a little fun element to the card. So this is a very basic card in some ways, but it's just, I love it. Okay, so if you do want to do the inside, and I did mine, did I plop mine? Yes, I just plopped mine in here. So let me just show you how I would do the inside. I wanted to use also the smaller bird. So let's just grab, this is the same size layer, 3 3/4 by 5 inches. We'll just grab this little guy. He's so cute. This is the smaller bird. This time we're not punching out. We're going to stamp him or her. right onto there. I think we're done with this ink. Now we'll switch to Calypso Coral. And remember these two swooshy pieces? Grab the smaller one because that one will fit this. It's the Sweet Songbirds. I'm turning him into like a bluebird, basically. Him or her. And the beak. And there's two sets of feet. Make sure you grab the right ones because one faces one way and the other faces the other way. I'm just going to go up just a little bit on the body like that. So, isn't that cute? So cute. All right, and then the bird needs some eyes. There's actually two eyes. There's the closed eyes, but I'm using the open eyes on both. And you just add little bird eyes. It's so cute. And then I'm gonna grab that happy birthday. Let's see. And I'm gonna add that just right below my bird to kind of tie it into a little kind of inside greeting. And then you can just glue this into here, and then you have like a space to write your message, but you have a little tie-in to the front. And then you've used both of the birds. Just like that. And you might have another happy birthday that you can use if you don't have this Something Fancy bundle. This one's also carrying over into the catalog, so that's why I used it. I wanted to use like a similar font. It's not identical, but it's also kind of small and cute because there isn't a happy birthday in here, so I wanted to say it's your special day and then happy birthday to kind of tie it in. I know a lot of people who stamp probably already have a happy birthday that they can use for the inside, but just a small long one like that will work really well for creating that inside of the card. So I hope you like that. It's fun to personalize this. Like if you wanted to turn this bird and have the bird be different colors, that's very easy to do. The color scheme for the rest of the card doesn't have to change too much because you still will need green leaves and brown branches, and Pool Party's a great sky color, so this you could change out the bird to be a different color and it would still work. You can match the ink color down here to the bird as a tie-in, or you don't have to. You could use a neutral color like the green or the crumb cake. This would be Granny Apple Green or the crumb cake, so you could tie it in that way as well. So I hope you like that. I absolutely two-step stamping was the thing that really got me hooked onto stamping, because I loved how you could take two different shades of ink, two different colors, combine images so that you could just create a little scene. I really fell in love with two-step florals first, but these are also two-step stamps because the branches and the leaves are separate, but they work together to come into one image. Or on the bluebird, you've got the body and the beak of the bird is separate, so you can stamp them in separate colors. It's so useful and fast because the ink, you're already taking care of the coloring with the big bold images. You don't have to do any coloring on here. It's just boom, 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 and you've got yourself a cute, cute, cute birthday card. It's so cute. He's just a little bluebird. All right. Okay, so do not forget about the free shipping special tomorrow. If you're on my email list, I will send you out an email to remind you out about it, that your order needs to be $75 to qualify. If you use my host code, this is my host code for the month, you will be getting some in color pearls sent to you in May. So if you've qualified for the free shipping special, which is $75, you will definitely qualify for my reward for the month. Please use the host code if your order is under $150. I use that host code to buy all the gifts. So that really helps if you remember to use that host code. If your order is over $150 though, please gather your own stamp and rewards. I want you to do that. And you don't need to use the host code in that case, and you will still get the gift of the month. So your order needs to be at least $50 to qualify for my gift of the month. So, what else do I need to talk about? Let's talk with all of you guys. I want to say hello. Good morning, Mary. And Mary says, congratulations. Thank you. I'm so excited that we'll get to go to Mexico for our 30th. So thank you for that. Good morning, Ellie from Connecticut. Good morning, Janine, and thank you for the congratulations. Good morning, Deborah from Virginia Beach. Ellie says she's happy for my wonderful news. Thank you. Marty says, good morning. Hello. Hello. Good morning, Dee from Kansas City. Marty said, is there enough room on the stamp with the leaves to cut the 2 leaf segments apart? Yes, there is. You could cut those leaves apart if you wanted to, and that would allow you to add like more leaves on there, and then you could still piece them together if you wanted to use them together again. Yeah, so cut it apart if you want to. You absolutely can do that. I do that more with my words than I do with other stamps, but that in this case you could actually go to town and add even more leaves around those branches. Good point. Mary said the bird is so cute. Yeah, the bird is so darling, isn't it? Janine says the bird is a cute little guy. It is. They're so cute. Rhonda said the sweet Songbirds is going in her shopping cart today. That's great. It's one of those ones that, when stuff is new, I demonstrate it and then I move on to the next stuff. And this one was new out of the annual catalog last year, but I just haven't had a chance to use it with all the new stuff. But now I've put away all the stuff that is retiring just so that I can keep track of everything. And I'm just using the carryover products right now because I want you to be able to purchase them, right now. I want you to have something that isn't going to go out of stock right now imminently. And the bundle pricing is going away, so it's very tempting to get that Songbird bundle right now because you can still get it at 10% off, whereas in May you won't have that advantage. Dee says she likes the shading behind the leaves and branches. It makes them have that subtle pop on the white. Yeah, it breaks up the, Dee's talking about how, I think you can see it better here than you could on my camera when this was flat, but you can just see right behind the leaves and branches. I use that sponge dauber just to pop out everything a little bit, to just, so it's not so stark white. And then it's nice because that's Pool Party and it ties in with the Pool Party card base. I experimented last night. I was debating whether or not to go with an orchid card base, but I decided that the bird looked better when it popped off the card. And since it's such a special feature, it was better to go with a lighter background cardstock, or I could have done white as well, but I do like the Pool Party. And then it just ties in nicely. The bird then really is the focal point. That's like, wow, there's the bird, and the Pool Party cardstock blends into the background, but still contrasts a little bit with the basic white layer. So everything I chose on this card was deliberate, like it wasn't accidental. And I chose orchid ink down here to kind of, what I wanted your eye to do was go to the bird first and then swirl around down here to the greeting. So I hope that's what your eye does, because that's the way that I designed the card to work. I learned about focal points in the first few years of stamping, and I was creating a card, and I wanted to put a lot of special stuff on my card, and I had 5 special elements on my card, and each of the special elements was really nice and cool, but I looked at my card and it looked like a hot mess, and I couldn't figure out why my card didn't look good when it had so many wonderful things on it. So that's when I learned about focal points and how it's good to have like one main thing on your card that your eye is drawn towards. In this card, it is I'm gonna move my host code away so it's out of the way. Okay, now I have more space to put out this card. So in this card, it is the bird. And then I think your eye, you've got the branches and stuff that supports that, but then your eye wanders down to the greeting because there's a little bow down there. So your eye's kind of like drawn down. And that's very pleasing to the eye. The eye likes to see some white space because then it draws the eye into the focal point. There are ways to do it if you have like a darker color in the as your focal point layer as well, but it's most cards to draw the eye in have like a white layer, and then they have stuff on it. So it's good to have one focal point, and then everything else kind of wraps its way around it. It's not all cards follow that formula, and there's some beautiful cards that don't. But this is like most of the time a card will have just one focal point and everything else is subordinate to that focal point. So anyway, I talked a little bit too long about that, but I hope that's helpful to some of you. It's something I learned, I don't know, I guess I've been stamping a long time, probably over 20 years now. And it's something that I learned pretty early on when I was trying to figure stuff out. Janine says, sweet card, thank you. Or I should say Jeanne says, sweet card, thank you. Marty said you should be getting the sun tomorrow. Well, the sun just came out here. It's kind of a temperamental day. This morning we woke up and there was sunshine on our walk. I even put my sunglasses on because the sun was like right into my face walking out the front door, and then it disappeared. So, but now it's back for a short visit. I'll take it. Marty says, it's always interesting to hear your thought process when you're designing your card. Well, thank you. I do put thought into it as I'm designing. I feel like I know if a card looks good now or if it doesn't look good. And sometimes it takes me a while to figure out what is making it not look good. But after a while, practice, and you figure out what looks good. Dee says she too has trouble with focal points. Might you have videos on this, or could you direct us to where you could find such videos? You know what? I do not have a video on it, but that might be a good thing to do. I'm trying to think if I ever did anything on my blog on that. It wouldn't have been a video. I'll have to go back and look, because I don't know if I did it with my team way back when or whatever. But there are things about focal points. I know it sounds kind of boring because we just sometimes want to get out there and create and not worry about that. But once you know those things, it really, really helps with your designing. So that's a really good point, Dee. I'd love to do a video on that. So let me see what I can come up with. That's going to have to be a little bit strategic because there's different ways to create focal points. So let me see if I can find my old notes on how to do that instead of just pulling it out of the air, out of my head while I'm live on a video. All right, thank you so much for joining me this morning, and I hope you have a great week. I will be going live Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on my YouTube channel, so I hope you will join me over there. I have not decided what I'm doing yet. I usually wait until Wednesday or Thursday to design. I look at what's available on the supply list. If there's something that is going to go on back order, I don't use it because I don't want to frustrate you. So I wait a little bit and design then. So, but I'm sure it's going to be good. I hope it's going to be good. We'll see what I come up with this week out of my head. And I hope you will watch with me on Friday. All right. I hope you guys all have a great week, and I will see you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.